is a few days away, and we are continuing with our back to school theme this month, which means continuing to prepare not just our kids, but the entire family for the start of school. And joining us today through our Healthy Families Partnership is marriage and family consultant Alvean Lyons, and she's going to give us a few strategies to make that back to school transition a bit easier for everyone in the household, because we get so busy when it's time to get back to school. We're maybe moving things around, changing schedules,
and
all
we're
that kind of
recovering
stuff.
from summertime, and during the summertime we started all kinds of things that do not work when you're in school. So there are 4 things that we want to remember. And Sheila was here last time to talk a little bit about the first one that I'm going to emphasize, which totally ties into your previous
That's
segment.
right, we're talking about sleeping.
Sleeping. So the B for back to school is bedtime. Bedtime really makes a huge difference in academic performance. The National Sleep Foundation says that teenagers need about 9 hours worth of sleep, and your younger children, your school-age children, they need from 10 to 11 hours worth of sleep. So it's really important that if you haven't started to shift them back to that early morning schedule, you start now, because there's nothing worse than them getting to school and falling asleep during class, or not paying attention because they're exhausted.
Right.
So we have to prep them into that. So if they've gotten used to staying up till 12 or 1 o'clock in the morning,
Oh, my goodness.
we've got to shift that quickly.
Right.
And we only have about a week to do it. So bedtime is the first thing that we have to focus on.
How do you encourage teens to get to bed earlier? Because, you don't have as much control over putting them to sleep as maybe the younger ones.
Well, while you don't have as much control about putting them to sleep, you do have control about shutting down your house earlier. So shut the TV off. It's still your house. So you set the
Right.
rules. Social media, we're done. We have to make sure that the TVs are off, lights are low or off. Create the atmosphere for people to start to drift into that fatigue. Tell them, let's read. It's amazing how fast kids go to sleep when you tell them they have to read until they fall asleep.
Right.
So there are lots of different things that we can do as parents, but we have to remember we are the parents, and we do have to set the boundaries, and bedtime is huge for them in terms of achievement for school.
Okay, so what's the next step?
The second thing is academics. Even during the summertime, as we're transitioning our way back into school, get them back in the mode of doing things that really engage the brain again. Spelling for your younger kids. Have them write the grocery list. Those kinds of things. Remind them about the fact that I need to put these letters together properly. Then when you're dealing with your older kids, make sure that you're setting some time that, hey, we're shutting the house down. Everybody's going to grab a book, a newspaper, a magazine. We're going to read for a little while. I have a special needs child. So what I do is I have him, he happens to be a juvenile diabetic. I'm having him count up his calories, count up your carbs. Let's do some division. PEMDAS, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. Can you remember those things? But let's put them to use in practical ways that they don't even realize that I'm getting you used to that math, that reading, that writing all over again.
All right, so we have bedtime, academics. What's next?
Chores. During the school year, there are things you need your kids to do that they
Yes.
haven't really done probably at the same level during the summertime. So it's time to get back together for that family meeting to determine who's going to be doing what. I always say feed the dog because we're pet lovers. So who's feeding the dog now? My girls just went to college, so the new kid, the last one, is now feeding the dog.
That's his new chore.
That's your new job. So we have to make sure that everybody knows what they're going to be doing. And if you've got sports going on, how are you going to fit the academics that you were pointing out earlier with the sports plus your responsibilities? Chores are part of all of your responsibility. So setting a time and a schedule that works for the whole family so everybody's contributing.
Okay,
And then the final thing is that K.
The K.
We got to kick some bad habits. We've got to kick
Like
them.
that.
We've only got a week left to do it. So that means if we've gotten used to staying up so late that we're watching movies late at night, we're on social media 9 out of the 12 hours we're awake, we are talking on the phone to God knows what hours at night. All of those things are bad habits relative to what we need for the school year. So this is a time for parents, this is our part, to look at what are we doing that's not going to work for us later. And those kind of things we need to identify, and we've got to check them off our list. We can't do that and still be on the honor roll at the same time.
Right, and I think that those tips are easy enough to follow, and it's definitely a starting place to get yourself and your family into that back to school mode. For more information, you can contact the Healthy Families Partnership on the website hampton.gov/healthyfamilies, or give them a call at 727-1300. As always, great having you here.
It's wonderful. Thanks so much.